welcome to episode 31 of the Weekly Whisper. I'm your host, Elian Habanero, and I'm here to talk all things 365. And speaking of 365 Pro Wrestling, 365 is back. 3 days ago, on Saturday, August 1st, the first live event in quite a while took place in Campbell River, BC at the Willow Point Hall, and the wait did not disappoint. From everything I've seen, from everything I've heard, from everybody I've talked to, it was an incredible event, and no one seemed to really act like they've had this much time off. Everybody was on their A game, everybody brought it, the fans were happy, all the rules, all the laws were followed, everything went off the way it was supposed to, and man, it's just great. And I also want to know, if you're a fan that attended the event, the 365 Pro Wrestling event a couple of days ago there, please send in your review. Let me know what you thought were the better matches, what you thought, who won that you didn't want to win, who you wish would have won, any of that stuff. I love the good old reviews, and I will read it on the Weekly Whisper, even if it's a week or two after. I don't mind. It's not a big deal. And not only did it go so well, 365 has announced that they're going to do it again, September 5th, in Campbell River at the Willow Points Hall. So it's so nice to have weekly events running again and something to talk about. I'm thrilled to be a part of it, and you know I was doing my detective work. Like, I stayed up late Saturday because it's a 3-hour time difference. So when the event ended around 10, it was like 1 a.m. here, and I'm checking all the social media pages, trying to find any little tidbits I can. Of course, 365 social media ended up the next couple of days releasing some of the results and some of the details that people needed to be known. So I'm just going to run them down from what I've saw and let you know what happened. And like I said, please tell me if you have a first-person account of what happened. So the show started off with the crowning of the first ever 365 Global Women's Champion. And what a battle. Liza Hull and Rhea Von Slasher both were so hungry, so just ramped up, so excited to be back in the ring, and they just tore into each other. I know this is not their first time competing in the ring against each other, so they're very familiar with some of their signature moves and whatnot, and they just gave it everything they had. But Liza Hull has been declared via submission your first ever 365 Global Women's Champion, so congratulations to her. She's got this really unique little submission move. I don't even know what it's called, to be honest, and it's really cool. I don't see a lot of other people using it. She kind of like hooks their legs with her legs and then has like a hammerlock on at the same time, and I don't recall Rhea Von Slasher ever submitting. I could be wrong, but how could she not? Once you get in that hold, it's either have your arm broken. How are you going to be able to keep wrestling anyway? So they both brought it, and congratulations goes out to Liza, and a great showing, of course, by Rhea Von Slasher. So the next match was a semi-final match. Whoever would win would advance to the main event, and we saw the Golden Boy Travis Williams take on Campbell River's own Haviko, one half of the tag team champions, and I think Haviko would wish that he would have this one back. He went for one of his patented maneuvers there, and then he got quickly rolled up, and it looked like Travis Williams had a little bit of the tights, but a win's a win, and if they wrestled 100 times, the outcome might be different every time, but Travis Williams did what he had to do to get himself an opportunity later in the night, and so Haviko is out. Travis Williams, the Golden Boy, headed to the main event that we'll talk about in a few minutes here. Man, and also all these videos are going to be out soon. I saw some of the fan clips and some of that kind of stuff, but it'll be easier to do a full review when I can actually see the matches. I just saw some pictures and this and that, and talked to a few people on some of the messages and stuff, but anyway, so if I've got something wrong, please tell me in the comments. Maybe my secondhand information that I got is not exactly correct, and I want to be correct. I don't mind people putting me in my place, so let's do that. And then the next match was also a semifinals match, and it did not go good for another Campbell River boy. The tag team champions maybe need to stick to tag teams, or in this case, but Eddie Osborne battled Judas Icarus, and this was a hard-hitting affair. Judas and Eddie obviously know each other very well, and obviously maybe they were willing to try different things because they are so familiar with each other that they had to bring a couple of different things out of the bag of tricks. Well, Judas seemed to be scouting a lot of Osborne's moves that he knew. Some of the ones that he had hit on him in the past, he was not able to this time. And what happened here was he's going for that River City driver. Judas Icarus wasn't having it, was not going to allow that to happen, and Judas Icarus was able to pin Eddie Osborne, or not. I don't even know if he pinned him. I just know he won. I don't know what the way the match ended, to be honest. So it could be pin, submission, count out, disqualification. I don't know. But Judas Icarus advanced himself to the main event to be one of the 3 people to compete for the first ever global championship. And good on him. I feel bad for Eddie Osborne, Hanavico, and Rhea Slasher, all the people that came up on the losing end. But it must have been nice just to be back in the ring, I guess, even if it wasn't the outcome they were looking for. And then the next match was the third semifinal match. Whoever won this match would go against Travis Williams and Judas Icarus in the finals. And it was Cremator Von Slasher against the Island Crusader Nolan James with Zach Andrews in his corner. And Cremator, with all this time off, was fired up. He planted Nolan James in the mat. I've never seen such a focused, angry, maybe not angry, just focused and, like I said, fired up. Cremator, devastating. That's got to be the sickest chokeslam I've ever seen. Destroying Nolan James. But Nolan James was kind of a poor sport. And him and Zach, you know, they took it to Cremator, and they attacked him after the match. And then Dr. Walls was saying he didn't think Cremator should compete in the main event later. Cremator had different plans, but it wasn't going to be Nolan James this night. That's for sure. So the main event was set, and then we're going to go into the first ever defense for the old greedy bastard, Jordy Taylor, defending his grand championship against the body Brett Matthews. Or no, sorry, there was a match before that. I apologize. The match that I had my eye on. I had my eye on all the matches, but this is kind of a sleeper because most of these competitors being out in the same area have wrestled each other. Well, this is one match that I was sure that had never happened before. Beef Boy Elliot Tyler took on Clay Wilson all the way from Ontario, and they brought it. They really showed that they were ready for this. All the time sitting there for 5-6 months wishing they could wrestle, they made sure to put everything they had out there. But Beef Boy got the win over Clay Wilson. So, I mean, I don't think Clay Wilson would go all out there for nothing. And like I've been alluding to in some of the other episodes, I think he had some other business that he had to take care of. He wasn't in a title match, so there's no title for him. But I'm sure he made some connections and maybe made some big level moves that are going to affect his future, and I'm sure this was just a step in the right direction, but a great match nonetheless. And then Jordy Taylor defended his first ever championship defense of the Grand Championship against Beef Boy, or against, sorry, not Beef Boy, the Body Brett Matthews. There's a lot of B's here. Beef Boy, Body Brett, okay, and Brett Matthews was really, oh man, was he ever, I don't want to say the same things I said about the other guys, but he was really on point. He was tossing Jordy Taylor around. Jordy Taylor, with every possible antic he could, was able to keep his title and successfully defend his grand championship by the skin of his teeth, some might say. Some may say Brett Matthews deserves to be the grand champion at this point, and deserves possibly a rematch down the road. So that's that, and then the main event. So we're going to crown another first ever champion in 365. So it was the Golden Boy Travis Williams, firstborn sitter Judas Icarus, and the Cremator Von Slasher. But like I said, he was attacked. Dr. Walls was saying he shouldn't compete in this match, or he wasn't allowing him to. I don't know, I wasn't there. Please tell me. But I know Cremator tried to come out. I don't know if it was at the beginning or at some point during the match. But once again, Nolan and Zach struck. And what are they doing, really? Like, it may be easy because they have the numbers game, 2 against 1, but I can see there being some retribution from Cremator's side like that. Maybe a handicap match at the next event. I wouldn't want to face them 2-on-1, let alone 1 versus 1, or maybe he'll get a partner and there'll be a tag match, but you gotta know Cremator's talking to Dr. Walls or getting someone to talk to him for him, and he probably wants to get his hands on Nolan James and Zach Andrews, who, why would you do that? Why would you poke the bear? Take your loss, hit the showers, come back with a better game plan next time. You know, I wouldn't have done something like this, but, you know, they must have a reason for their actions. So it ended up being just Judas Icarus versus the Golden Boy Travis Williams. And we've seen these guys battle numerous times, and they always are at the top of their game. They always have great contests, just what athletic competitions. And on this particular occasion, it was the Golden Boy Travis Williams who was crowned the first ever 365 global champion. Big congratulations to him, well deserved. I mean, I feel bad for Judas going through both matches and just missing. And there was a little bit of controversy in this one as well, as there was an exposed middle turnbuckle. Judas got driven into it, like a kind of like a schoolboy thing in the corner. Travis Williams capitalized. Can you blame him? Well, I mean, there is a bit of an asterisk there, but he's got the championship, and at the end of the day, is that what matters? So maybe some people wouldn't have done it his way. Maybe it was no fault of his own. Maybe it was just circumstances, or maybe he meant to. You just never know. But he's got to be happy being crowned the first ever global champion. And then Liza Hall came out, and she reminded Travis Williams that recently that they had gone to a 15-minute draw and that he had not defeated her. So it's so nice to have some stories going now, something to talk about for the next couple of weeks, right? But she challenged him to a shot at his global championship. I don't know if it's title versus title, but I'm pretty sure his title's going to be on the line. And Dr. Walls, agreed. He said that it was true. He felt like she deserved a shot. She had him in the submission right at the time limit draw there. And that match is on YouTube. Check it out. Lots of views on that, and it's good reason to. It's a great match. So we got our match set for September 5th. There's going to be more matches announced in the coming weeks. And, man, what can you say? And because of that, you know, I do the top 5 list. And I've been wanting to do this for so long. The top 5 rankings in the 365 currently. Finally, we could do it. And you know what? I just started from scratch. It doesn't really matter what happened in any of the other 365 events. As far as me, this is not official. I am not the official 365 spokesman. I am not the one running the websites or doing any of the management decisions. I wanted to be a news guy. I wanted to do a wrestling news show. They have allowed me the platform. I appreciate it. I put my own opinions up, and whether they're right or wrong, it's just how I feel, how I view things. But we're going to do the top 5 rankings, and it's just based on this show that just happened. So at number 5, we got Cremator Von Slasher is in the number 5 spot in the 365 rankings, because I feel he's owed a title shot. Nolan James and Zach Andrews screwed him out of what could have been a huge day or night for Cremator, as he won his first match. He was headed in to finally maybe get the chance to be the first ever global champion. I don't know why I said finally, but Cremator has got to be a little pissed off right now. He still deserves a title shot because he never got his. He could have been the first ever. So I'm going to put him at number 5 because I feel like he's maybe not the number 1 contender, but definitely a contender in that conversation. So he's at number 5, and then I put number 4, who I guess, I don't know if he'd be the number 1 contender either, Judas Icarus, who lost the match just by a little bit, but I feel they both kind of got screwed, and Travis Williams really won the whole show, because if it was a 3-way match with Cremator, Judas, and Travis Williams, who knows what the outcome could have been, and just could have gone so many different ways. So I feel like Judas should also get a title shot at some point, so I put him number 4. And number 3, I got the Golden Boy Travis Williams, the first ever global champion. And so the reason why I didn't put him as number one, I'm not saying which is the more prestigious title, the global or the grand, but because Geordie Taylor has made a defense of his title, to me that makes his title a little bit more prestigious at the moment. So I put the Golden Boy Travis Williams at number 3, and then I guess the number 1 contender for his title, like I said, Cremator and Judas are both contenders and deserve shots, but I guess Liza Hall would be considered the number 1 contender, as she's the one that got the match granted to her, and she's the global women's champion. So it was hard to do the top 3 and decide which belts are which, but that's why, because she also has not defended her championship as well, and I feel her and Travis are both new champions, but because she's the number 1 contender, and she, I don't know, I feel like she had a little bit better of a showing over Travis Williams when they wrestled that match, and she won hers clean and fair and square. That's why I'm also putting her above. There's a little bit of controversy in both the Travis Williams matches, like I said, the pulling the tights a little bit there and the exposed turnbuckle. So that's why I put her ahead, and then that's why I also put at the number 1 placement on the 365 rankings, old Grady bastard, Geordie Taylor, still the grand champion, still the number 1 guy in the company, and well-deserved. You may not agree with the way he goes about doing his stuff, but he does his thing, or his thing, his stuff, whatever. But let me know, who do you think should be the top 5? Or if you want to do a top 10, go for it. I mean, Beef Boy got a big win. He should be mentioned somewhere in there, right? I feel like, yeah, like maybe he could climb up the ranks or deserves a shot at one of these titles coming up. Maybe he'll get the shot at the grand champion, Geordie Taylor, at the next show. We're going to get some announcements from Dr. Walls in the coming weeks. I'll be on top of that if, you know, I'm sure some of the people will already see what I already see, but I'm also here to kind of recap it all and put it all in a nice little, with a nice bow around it or whatever. But what do you think? Who would be your top 5? What did you think of the show? How great is it that 365 is back? Not only did they run a show, and not only do we have a show to talk about on September 5th, but also the matches are going to be coming out here soon. We got some podcasts that are in the bank that have got recorded. Oh man, it's going to be an exciting few weeks, and this is just the beginning, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. But like I said, if you have a review, if you're at the show, give me some more details that I can talk about next week, and then I also will find out more matches, as the only match announced for September 5th so far is Liza Hall versus Travis Williams. But like I said, there's got to be more details about that coming out, about which titles on the line. Is there any titles on the line? Are both titles on the line? Is there any stipulations to the match? Any of that good stuff. What Cremator's plans is for Nolan James and Zach Andrews. Who will be the next contender for Geordie Taylor? Will Haviko and Eddie Osborne go back to tag team wrestling, or were they going to stay for singles for a while? So much. I'm so happy to be doing this. And there's one thing I wish you could do for me, and that is like, or you get a leg drop. Comment, or you get a clothesline. Subscribe, or you get a suplex. And share, or you get a sleeper. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!